Oh my gosh, come on in, fellow pop culture aficionado.
Or our moms.
Hi, moms. And join us on the couples couch. We saved you a seat.
We're Tanner and KB Cunningham, a married couple who dish out hilarious banter and spark interesting conversation.
From the wild world of reality TV and the furthest reaches of the internet, we're here to unpack it all. So grab a snack, settle in, and let's explore the fascinating intersectional world of pop culture. Good morning from the couples couch.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday, April 10th.
Happy Wednesday, April 10th, and today is the big 50.
Today is the big 50. How
Tanner
does it feel?
turns 50.
I do. It's all these grays. It explains a lot.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Ask what you're going to ask.
Oh, I don't even remember. But
how does it feel to be on our 50th episode? It feels great.
I know. It's so exciting. The big 5-0.
5-1. Do you remember that song?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I used to have this kid always sing it at, summer camp.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah, it was I was so much younger. But yeah, that's what I think about every time I hear, sometimes the big, 5-0.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is our big 50th episode. And by big 50th episode, we mean we're going to give you our recaps and all of our thoughts. Yeah. But yeah. So, hi, how are you? Thank you all so much for being here. For the people that have listened to all 50 episodes. Wow. We're obsessed with you. That is a huge commitment, and we love you. To those of you just listening to our episodes sporadically, we're also obsessed with you, and we get it.
Sure, yeah.
I've got the AD. He's got the HD. We're all here.
We're here. But yeah, no, so this is exciting. It's our 50th episode, and you know what? We've been getting a lot of feedback about episode number 48.
We did get a lot of feedback about episode 48, both in comments, but also in messages, text messages, Instagram messages. People gave us feedback on our wedding rendezvous.
Yeah, our wedding rendezvous episode. It was, it did feel very fun to chat about things that happen to everyone, not just stories,
Yeah.
We can all partake in those in some level, but to have a lived experience with these people is also fun.
Absolutely. No. And so thanks for listening to that wedding rendezvous. Lots of feedback, and honestly the feedback is the people are loving it, and they're saying it resonates with them, that they get it. They're it is hard. It's hard to not only host a wedding and pay for all the things, but it's hard to host a wedding and figure out okay, do I make these people pay for this? How do we do these things? And so it's nice to hear your all's perspectives back versus our perspectives.
It is.
It's so fun.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, we've got lots of listens on it. We're already over 100 listens, which we upload daily, and usually our numbers are just a little bit lower than that. So it was cool to wake up and see that. I was oh my gosh. So if you haven't gone to take a listen, go take a listen. If you are new here, go ahead and follow our Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go ahead and follow that. Give it a 5-star review. And the last thing I'll ask you to do is go to our YouTube and subscribe. We're also on socials, but I'll just go ahead and get that out of the way early.
Shameless plug early. Love to see it. What did we do last night? I'm trying to think. Our night was good. We, like I mentioned earlier, I went to the gym and
I went for a walk.
We went for a walk. We made apple tarts.
Oh, they were so good.
Had burrito beef tacos.
Really.
Delicious. It
was a slapping night for the Cunningham household.
Yeah, we really popped off in the kitchen.
It was so fun.
It
was so fun. I love being in the kitchen. I put this on my story yesterday, on my personal Instagram, and I got also lots of messages back about this. Is because I wrote something about cooking as an act of love. I believe cooking is an act of love.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're just cooking, but you're you can speak nice things into those meals. You can just be I hope this really nourishes them. You're preparing something so somebody can live. So it's an act of love. And so I love preparing food with you.
No, that's so true. That's a good perspective and a point to think about.
Well, especially sometimes we complain about oh, we want to go do this, or we want to do this, and it's no, we have food at home, we should eat at home. That is the smart thing to do. That's a sustainable thing to do, and that's a healthier thing to do. And it can you can see things and be wondering, and then it's but you know what, what a gift.
Right.
What an act of love, almost tricking yourself into it, but seeing the other perspective of
will help you trick yourself into it.
And it'll help you trick yourself into it, but also gives you a different way to think about something and something to be thankful for.
Right.
So if you love cooking but feel burnt out, hopefully that can trick your brain. If you don't love cooking, then don't stress about it.
No stress here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So you didn't cook before.
No,
you cooked some.
My main qualm with cooking. No, I would cook. I would go to my parents' home and cook. I didn't want to cook in my own home because it made my house smell.
Cooking does make your house smell.
And that's just something I wouldn't, as a single man, allow.
Yeah.
So, a stinky home.
A stinky But now your home gets to be super stinky because we cook every day.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah, so we did that. We watched VPR, which we'll get into in a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to give you all a neighbor update, though.
Right. Yes, you have to tell the audience what happened.
Well, I have 2 neighbor updates. The first one is not the juicier one. It is about me talking to the beagle, like I talked to you about yesterday. Right. I did see the neighbor out on the walk again this morning. I do know about when they walk, which is a little creepy and weird. I mean, I go outside at different times every day, so it really just depends. But I saw the beagle, but I wouldn't speak to him because it was a man today.
Oh, right.
And I was like, I'm not just going to go up to this man and be like, hi, can I talk to your dog?
Well, you just assumed it was a man because he was ruddy-faced.
He was very ruddy-faced, and, like, he had, like, the way he presented himself. Well, it is hard because we're all still wearing our, like, big fur coats and beanies. Yeah, like, I had a huge fur coat on and a beanie. So, like, I could, like, absolutely be wrong, but, like, I thought it was a man versus the person I thought yesterday. Fair. Seemed like they were a woman, so I
didn't chat.
I didn't chat with him because I don't just go speak to stranger men, but I will go speak to a stranger woman any day.
No, that's fair. Like, I would feel more comfortable, like, speaking to a stranger male than a stranger female. Yeah. So, like, I get that.
Yeah, so that's, like, all it was. But then, as I was walking down this morning, I saw our neighbors.
Unless he looks murderous, because you never know. But yes, so you saw our other neighbor.
I saw our other neighbors, the ones who told me to go buy a new car. If you haven't heard about that, go listen to the Car Vendetta episode. I don't remember the name, but I do know it's called Car Vendetta. You should be able to find it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like Vanderpump Vendettas and something about cars. I don't remember.
Yes, but so that's kind of fitting that we talked about Vanderpump and our neighbor, and we're doing it yet again.
We're doing it again, and so I saw Miss Neighbor this morning, and she asked me if I sold my car and got a new one.
Give them a little backstory in case they don't know.
Just okay, like a quick overview. A few weeks ago, my car was struggling. We were out of town. Like, it sat for a week. It snowed. My battery was dead. Right. We needed to get the car started and, like, driven around, but there was somebody parked next to me, and so Tanner could not, like, jump off my car. Yeah. So I went upstairs to the neighbor, asked her if she could please come move it. Like, I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of car trouble. And she told me, okay, she'll be down in a second. And then when she came down, she told me I just need to buy a new vehicle.
Yeah, she looked at it and said, you just need a new vehicle.
And you know what? My paint is chipped. I will say. It's chipped. But other than that, the car is amazing.
Well, and then she literally saw us drive off in it and has seen us drive off in it consecutively for the last 2 weeks. So, like, hello, the car's still here.
Well, and I was literally parked next to you. So, literally,
no.
Watch for children. Eat my ass.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yes. This is a child show, KB. We redact that. But I don't know. She's got a problem.
She's got a problem with it. And she said, so this is what she said to me. She was like, did you buy a new car? I said, no. She's like, did you sell your car? I said, no, it still works. And her husband started to come down at that time. And she was like, what do you mean? I go, I got it fixed and started.
Well, we literally told you it was just the battery was dead.
And it works. And she goes, how'd you get it fixed? I go, I fixed it. Like, I was like, I'm tired of answering your questions. Like, you don't get to interrogate me at 6:53 a.m.
No, truly.
So, I say all that to say, I'm annoyed with her still.
Well, not only are you annoyed with her still, she continues to come against you.
Yeah. I said, I just fixed it, and I said, it's going to be a good day. Hope you have a good one. Bye. And kept walking.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what I would do in that scenario, honestly.
Well, her husband was there, so she quickly wrapped it up.
No, her husband is so nice. Like, we dab each other up every time we see each other.
I love him. No, he's so kind.
He's a gentleman. But she, however, is not. She's not a gentleman, and I don't like her.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just, like, that's just how she operates. Like, maybe she thinks she's funny. Maybe I can't read it.
Like, but is she laughing when she says this to you? Because usually if you think something's funny, you follow it up with a laugh.
Yeah, like a kiki, a ha-ha. Yeah, so I don't know. I just always try and give people grace, but, like, I think she's being a jerk. And that's why I said what I said earlier. Right. I said what I said. I bought this home with my own funds. You did not. With my own bread. No, truly. With my own bread. Yeah. So, like, don't at me. Yeah. Don't at me.
Don't at me.
Do you want to talk about our current obsessions real quick?
I would love to.
Okay. Sorry, everyone, for me saying that earlier. I'm, like, sorry, but...
I'm like, no need to apologize.
You said about the eat my...
No, you literally just said, said what you said and then you apologized. So, that doesn't
Story of my life.
Doesn't make any sense.
Story of my life.
She didn't apologize, actually. She takes it back.
I take it back. What do you mean you take it back? Lindsay Lohan, that's some movie.
Okay, I don't know.
No, she took him back. She took him back. She took Aaron back. It's Mean Girls.
Okay, I do know it. Yeah.
Current obsessions. Okay. Me is we talked to you about the hue lights yesterday and how they have like a circadian rhythm option.
Right.
We have the circadian rhythm option cooking.
We do. It's so nice. You are the one who actually found it, though, so that was great. You were playing around with it, and we have a couple in our home. If you don't have the color changing option, you don't get the circadian rhythm option, unfortunately.
Right,
You can just dim, and that's great, but that's all you
Dimming
get.
is so nice.
That's all you get. Now, if you have the colored ones, you can do the circadian rhythm one. So, yeah, I love it, though. Especially in our bedroom, it's really nice. And in the kitchen, it's fun.
Oh, it's so nice in the kitchen. Yeah, and I was falling asleep, like, on the couch last night, which is why we didn't get into the valley, because I was, like, tan. Well, we actually watched 2 things, but as I was, like, we were waiting for it to come on, and it was what it was.
It was what it was. Yeah, so the hue lights are your new obsession. My current obsession is sparkling waters.
Yes.
And I don't mean like LaCroix and like those fancy ones that come in the can. I mean like the cheap ones from Walmart that are like $1 that come in a liter jug.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I love
And they have
those.
all these like really crazy flavors. Like I had one yesterday that was orange creamsicle. It actually tasted like an orange creamsicle soda. Had no calories, no caffeine. I mean, it's probably chock full of chemicals. I can't say. I know for a fact it is because I looked at the back of it. But I'm gonna live in bliss and just enjoy.
Well, it's like, okay, at the end of the day, it is like
live in ignorance.
Live in ignorance and bliss.
It is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss. That's what they say.
Yeah.
So you were there. Yeah.
I was there.
You were there. You were there.
Sure.
Grey November. We actually, I'll get to that later. So I really do I like those sparkling waters too. I'm glad that you're enjoying them. It feels like a little taste of flavor. Feels like a treat almost. That's what I would think about it. I think about it like as a treat. It's like, oh, this is so nice.
It is. It's very like, it's like a treat, but it also kind of feels nostalgic in a sense because like I had them in high school too. So I'm like, oh my God, I feel young again.
Actually, yeah, I remember drinking them in like high school, college years. Like that's when I used to drink like those waters. And I have a friend that introduced me to them, and every time I get them, I think about her. H.
Oh, every time I think about sparkling waters, I only think of Mary Cosby because I think of my ovaries, not ovaries hardening.
You have ovaries.
No. But I don't know. It could harden anything else in something, I guess, according to Mary's logic.
Yeah, Mary Cosby once said she didn't drink champagne because...
Or sparkling water.
Or anything sparkling because it, like, hardens your ovaries. And I don't know whether the validity of that statement is true or false. I have not Googled it.
But I do think about it every time sparkling water touches my lips.
But I don't think about it every time champagne touches my lips.
Oh, no. I would never think poorly of champagne.
No. That's actually how I was thinking about it, is, like, we... like to get a bottle every couple weeks, and like I am trying to just like not drink anything right now and just like really like hunker down for a little bit before summer. And I think this might be like a decent little like sparkling treat replacement, because that's how I feel like what Sprite is. Sprite to me is like child's champagne.
Yes, it is. You've always said that it's like adult Sprite.
Champagne to me tastes like adult Sprite, and I love it, and I've always loved a Sprite, so.
I love that. But yeah, those are our new current obsessions. Should we get into Vanderpump?
We should.
It was chocked full. This episode, Andy Cohen said it himself that the last episodes are really going to ramp up, and he wasn't wrong.
I agree. They really have, like, ramped up. And so I'll give you, like, the headlines of the story of, like, leaving beach day, the Tory storyline, 2 wieners in a wiener shop, golfing with our favorite couples, Lala's birth experience, Joe and Tom, girls' night, boys' night. And then there's more, but I'm just, like, not even going to say them.
Right, yeah.
There's so many small segments, like, and I feel like it was just, was it an hour and a half?
No clue, but it was long. It seemed long.
It seemed long. It seemed like we just kept getting the juice.
Yeah. Just kept getting the juice. So they do start off at the beach day, which was where they left us. Obviously, Tom and Ariana are into it heavy and hot because, obviously, the spin of all of it all.
Well, and it's, like, the first time we've really seen her blow up. And, like, second time we've seen her get upset. And you know what? I'm here to see the emotion, because I felt like we really saw Ariana this episode. Her full range of emotion.
Oh, yeah. She did not hold back with Holt at all.
And I thought that was, like, great. And, well, like, the one thing I want to say about... I'm still on the leave Ariana alone party. I say it more than once in, like, my notes. Leave her alone. Like, let's stop asking her to move out.
Okay.
Let's start asking Tom, when is he going to move out? Like, I don't hear them pressuring him about that. I don't hear them pressuring Tom about anything. And it's because Tom is maniacal. He's annoying. But also,
are any of them
push him
speaking
out.
to Tom, though, other than the boys? And are the boys going to say that to him? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can see why they're not saying
Lala
it to Tom.
speaking to Tom.
Right, but Lala has just started speaking to Tom, and she hasn't mentioned it yet. She might, but I'm just like, I can see why the boys wouldn't.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, stop asking Ariana to move out.
I agree.
Like, it doesn't matter if they're speaking to, like, him or not. Like, just stop asking Ariana to do it. If you're gonna have the audacity to ask her, have the audacity to ask the man who cheated. And that's, like, the American way. The American way is whoever breaks the home gets to leave.
That's the American way? I don't know if that's, like, court approved, but sure.
Well, it's just like what we see, like, typically of, like, usually, like, some man cheats and he needs to leave.
Unless there's a prenup. Like, there are options.
Yeah, but she didn't have options. She wasn't wealthy.
No,
like
that's
that.
true. That's true. So Ariana and Tom are fighting at this beach day, and she really does let him have it, and then she kind of lets everyone else around him have it once he walks away, because he kind of just realizes the situation is not going to de-escalate, and he does the right thing. He removes himself from it.
He removes himself. Tom leaves with him, and my favorite part of them leaving was Katie calling Tom her ex-husband,
Yeah.
Tom Schwartz, and says, "Come get your trash. Come get your stuff." She's like, "You left your stuff here," and he goes, "Oh, thanks for bringing it to me." She says, "No, this is me telling you it's here. Bye," and hung up. And I was like, I need that Katie Maloney energy.
Right.
Like, whatever Katie went and found that backbone to, like, literally dish it out and keep her own.
Well,
I'm shook.
Because I feel like if anyone would have said that to me, "Oh, thanks for bringing that to me," I'd have been like, "Yeah, you're welcome." But no, come get it yourself. I wasn't saying that because I was bringing it to you. I'm saying that because you need to come get your crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And I really love that. And honestly, all Tom has to do really is call production and say, "Hey, pick up my stuff." But, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was great. The Tori storyline, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm kind of on James's side. Like, this girl looks like she's 12. Like, what are we really fighting over her about? No offense to her. Like whatever. If that's your type, fine.
Right.
I'm just like, she does look so young, and y'all could ruin this little girl's life.
Yeah, they could literally. Honestly, I looked at the way... Okay, so what's happening here is that Katie and Tom, who are a now divorced couple, previously married...
Right.
Are dating, like, the same person, the same girl. Mm-hmm. Which is, like, you know what? Wild. Pop off. But for me, it's that, like, I'm like, okay, she's so young. And this does feel like very production-esque storyline. Like, 21. She's, like, only 21, 22. But what I did say is that Katie looked like she was having a blast.
Right. No, agreed.
And so that, I say... It's good for Katie, but it's not good for Tom. Like, that's wrong for me to say, but, like, it's how I feel. Like, I'm like, okay, it works for Katie, but it doesn't work for Tom. Because I just, like, don't see Tom... The thing is, I don't see Tom enhancing this girl's life in any way.
No.
Katie Maloney would ruin her life in the best way.
That's true.
That's all I mean. But it seemed like they were kind of, like, bored with it by the end of it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. After you saying that, like, I agree, like, is this just something production is trying to make happen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know.
And, like, to give us, like, something to talk about. Like, it's not, like, my favorite storyline. But I'm excited to, like, I'm excited to see it play out.
Me too. Something that was sad to see play out was the Joe storyline, which we'll get into a little bit later, but we do see her meet up with Lala first.
Yes. They go to a hot dog stand.
Right. That was really funny. Lala was like, I've literally never noticed this in LA, and now it's going to be the only thing that I see.
I know. I'm like, I need to go to the hot dog stand. Like, where is it?
Isn't that funny when that happens to you? Like, you've walked past something, like, for
your
years.
whole life.
Yeah, and then, like, one day you finally see it, and you're like, wow, I've never noticed this until this moment.
Yeah, I had no idea this was here.
Yeah.
I know. I'm always like, Tanner, has that been there? And you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Or, like, when we go to Kentucky, I'll be like, Mom. And she's like, baby, it's been here for, like, 58 years. I'm like, oh, got it.
Noted.
Noted. So, yeah, we saw Joe and Lala speak, which I wondered how this was going to affect the girls, which we'll get into later.
Right.
But, like, I was like, okay, cool. Like, she's just meeting up with Joe. She's trying to be friends with Schwartz. And honestly, Joe reached out to her. And, like, it's one of those things where it's awkward, I feel like, of like, okay, like, I'll say yes.
Sure, like, why not hear this person out? They've not done anything wrong to me. Like, they seem fine. Like, they're a weirdo, but fine.
Right.
And so she goes, and Joe kind of plots that Lala is going to be her way into a forever with Tom.
Yeah,
literally.
It was...
She said that.
So, yeah, no, literally. She was like, Lala's my way in, since Lala is, like...
Yeah.
Like, a voice of reason for Tom right now. Like, Lala's like my way in. I was just like, excuse.
She's like really moving all her chess pieces for Tom Schwartz. Like it's kind of mind-boggling.
Well, she's moving her chess pieces. I just don't get it.
No, literally.
I don't get it. Like Joe,
like we need to have a serious Joe. If you're listening, come close. Cuddle up on the couple's couch. I have to give you some advice.
He's playing you.
He's playing you. Not only that, like you went to a singles event. Like I also have questions about that.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so actually, let's get in. No, that's perfect. Actually, it's a great way to move in. So Joe and Lala have this conversation, and then Joe basically cuts Tom's hair off. That bleaches Tom's hair.
His hair.
They go to this thing, and he tells her that I'm going to. He does phrase it the way she says it. She phrases it, I'm going to this singles event to support Tom.
He did say that, you're right.
And she said, can I come?
Right, she invited herself.
But he said...
That's Debbie Desperado energy. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's your first mistake. Next.
First mistake. But also he said yes.
Well, that was his mistake.
Right. And she thought they were going together. So she had like a completely different interpretation of like how the evening would be.
Right. Are you inviting yourself to like an event like that? Like that is beyond anything I could ever comprehend doing in my life. Like if someone doesn't want me there, just know I won't be there.
Yeah, no, like I've been in situations where like I came and I wasn't wanted, or like I was given a half invite, or like I assumed I was invited and I wasn't, and like never again. No, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, so if you're getting half invites or you're having to invite yourself, these people are probably not your friends. It's time to reevaluate.
Reevaluate the situation, because she did. And well, we'll see. But yes, they went to some single mixer on.
It was like at a bar, like a rooftop.
I think it was at the Montreal.
Like, oh, okay, that makes sense because there was like a pool. I remember, and like
they were very comfortable.
Everyone was in green bracelets, so they had a system. If you were looking, you were in green. If you were open, you were in yellow. If you were not looking for anything, you had a red bracelet.
I missed that, so I'm really glad you said that.
Yeah, so they were all in green bracelets, and they all did like their little Ninja Turtles, like let's go gang, kind of like. Hands in, and they all had on green bracelets.
Okay, and so
Tom took advantage of his green bracelet.
Tom definitely took advantage of his green bracelet because they have not had like a great conversation yet about like where they are, and so Tom is out there like socializing. Joe is with Tom socializing, and she walks away. And Joe,
Joe has been running her hands through Tom's hair this whole time at this singles event. Like, she is marking her territory.
Absolutely. She's like, I did his hair, and that's what she said. She was like, I did it. It's my work.
She's marking her territory. She leaves Tom for a brief moment.
Yeah, you go.
A brief moment. She maybe had to go potty. Who knows? You know, things happen. She gets up, leaves Tom, his new bleach blonde-headed butt, and he's sitting there. Some girl comes up to him. He instantly starts flirting with her. She's flirting back. He calls himself a makeout slut. They make out.
And
Joe.
Oh, and the hat. Tom gives him her
right.
hat.
Yeah, and Joe. Well, that's before they make out. So she's playing. They're like flirting. She's like, "I love your hat," and Tom's like, "Oh yeah, you can wear it." And he was like, "But you can't have it. You have to give it back." And he's like, "No way. Actually, you can have it." And then Joe comes up and she's like, "You can't give her that hat. That's the only one you have." And he's like, "No, I have more in storage." And she's like, "Oh, okay, good." And then she walks away. And then he makes out with this lady. And then Joe walks back up.
And she's
like having an out-of-body experience.
Well, she does say, what in tarnation? Just about the hat.
Yeah. Her and Tom are literally made for each other. And the fact that he sees it but like won't act on it, it makes me realize how dumb he is.
He's like so dumb. And he also says, what she comes on and says, like after we see him kiss another girl, is that we've said I love you to each other. We still are together all the time, and she feels like a big secret. How sad.
So sad.
It's just so sad.
Yeah, I've really turned a corner on Joe. I have a lot of like empathy towards her. Like, we've all been in those situations and in those instances, like where we've been played or we thought something was something.
Well, you're being told by somebody something, and like they're making you feel a certain way, but then their actions
don't match up.
And it's very confusing.
Yeah. And so, like, we see Joe and Tom try to have a conversation after the night at the singles event. She is already at his house, literally doing his dishes again.
What the heck?
Why are you doing this man's dishes after you made out with this girl, Joe?
When somebody tells you who they are, believe them.
Yeah, literally. And so, let Joe be a lesson to all of you today.
Yeah.
And don't be like Joe.
Don't do this man's. Be like Mr. Sorbo. We don't do men's dishes.
Certainly not if they're making out with other girls.
Yeah.
And so she's doing his dishes. Tom walks in, And they kind of quickly have a conversation. They sit down on the couch.
But we do see notes around the house that say, love
They look
you.
like they were written by her. There was one that looked like it was maybe written by Tom, but yes.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, but the point is, like, Joe's on the fridge.
Joe was on the fridge. Like an old vintage photo of her.
Mm-hmm.
And then
like a Polaroid.
There was a Polaroid, yeah. Mm-hmm. And the one that said I love you, I think was maybe from Tom. I don't know.
I can never tell with cursive.
Yeah, cursive is hard to say.
But yeah, so that was...
So then they sit down and have a conversation and kind of just leave it as like... I don't know how they left it. Do you?
They kind of left it like... They left it as that their situationship is kind of broke up.
Yeah, Joe was just like, I don't think I can do this kind of thing, right? Because Tom was like, I don't want a relationship. Like, I'm going to be dating. Like, I'm going to be going out on dates. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing that. And
Joe was like, I don't know if I can be around for that. And he was like, what do you mean? You can't just hang out with me still? And I'm like...
No, I certainly can't.
I certainly cannot. Certainly cannot just continue to hang out with you.
Cut your hair and do your dishes. And
take care of your dogs. I cannot sit and literally be like, she's playing the wife and he's out having mistress. Like, she's playing wife.
And he did that with Katie, so, like, he wants to continue that.
Yeah, and Joe, like, deserves better. And honestly, I just see, like, the confusion of Joe from this last episode.
Yeah. And I think the girls have been harsh on Joe.
They have been harsh on Joe because she's
I think she's a weirdo, but I don't think she's a crackhead. Like, they literally have said crazy things about her.
But what I do say is that she's been wanting to be with Tom for a long time, and you're texting Katie Maloney being like, can I come to
that was weird. That was definitely
I'm like, weird. Okay, so like...
She probably thought Katie was her way into her husband.
Exactly, and that's what I don't like about Joe, is that, like, she's sneaky. Joe is sneaky.
She moves funny, for sure.
Just because you're sneaky doesn't make you a bad person. I just, like, don't know... I don't know if I would
choose to be friends with them.
I just like wouldn't choose to like operate around that. And actually, Lala and Katie get into it about that.
Yeah.
And I just kind of thought that was like, I thought it was gonna happen. I was just like, okay, they're gonna argue about this. They're gonna clash. It is what it is.
It is.
So yeah, that was really like VPR though. It was a jam-packed episode. It was good.
It was really, really grand.
And the one thing that we didn't talk about was Ariana actually, I didn't type any notes because I was like so captured by the moment, but like we saw Ariana like breaking down at the pool with the girls.
Yes, we did. That was good because she needed to have that like vulnerable moment, especially for herself, but like it was good as a viewer to see because we've just seen her be so hard. And like that was one note that I had, like it felt like at Sheena's beach day, she was trying to rally everyone against Tom. And Brock was like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And, like, shut it down. And so, like, it was good for her. She needs to, like... And she even said, like, I have, like, a lot of anger that I don't need to hold on to. And, like, it was good to see some of that kind of fall away from her. Like, it felt like she left the conversation looking lighter.
Yeah, it did. And honestly, it looked like her girls were there for her at that point. And so, like, I don't know what's shifted between, like, then and now. Mm-hmm. But apparently Lala Kids broke the fourth wall. Watch What Happens Live was on last night. Sheena talks about it, and she says she, like, really understands where Lala's coming from based on, like, behind-the-scenes stuff. And I'm excited to watch What Happens Live with Shishu and Brock.
Me too. I know. We have that on deck. We have The Valley, because we did not watch that. But we did start Brandy Hellville.
Melville.
No, it's called Hellville.
Yeah, Brandy Hellville.
Yeah, Brandy Hellville on HBO Max, or on Max, rather. It is about the clothing conglomerate Brandy Melville. If you're a girly of a certain ilk and generation, you know exactly this person. It's so intriguing. We find out so much information, and we've not even finished it. We're like 40 minutes into it, and it's like mind-boggling. Like the amount of like shell companies and like things that they have. Like it's very hard to even figure out who the CEO of Brandy Melville is, which with most companies,
you
like
can
it's
just
a
Google
very simple Google search.
CEO.
Yeah.
And so, like, that is so shady, but just, like, how they set them up, like, almost, it's like, did you talk about this? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I don't know.
I got this, and so I was, like, trying to just, like, take care of it real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone, I got a text, and it was important.
Yeah.
They, like, set them up almost as, like, shell companies.
Yes, I did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and it's so shady, and I was just like, And then just, like, the design of it all, how they procure their social media content.
Right.
I'm waiting to hear, because we turned it off because I was falling asleep. I was like, baby, I really want to watch this, and I'm falling asleep. Like, can we pause?
Like, the interesting thing, too, is they claim to be a one-size-fits-all brand.
And I was like, I was literally sitting on the couch going, who has Brandy Melville? I was like, I've seen Brandy Melville. in someone's closet. Like, I have a wildly good memory for
and you've seen the
specific
tag.
things.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm seeing that tag in my head, and I'm going, I've seen this, where have I seen this? In my closet!
Yeah, I was like, you have Brandy Melville.
I was like, what?
I was like, that green sweater top you have, it's Brandy Melville.
Which is so wild to me, because I bought that at Nordstrom. So these people have, like, infiltrated, like, massive, like, retail conglomerates. Is that what you would call them? A massive retail conglomerate? Like, so that sounds smart.
It does.
Yeah. And when I used to shop at Nordstrom all the time, it was so fun. But consumerism is not that good for the environment, y'all. It actually talks about that in Brandy Melville.
It talks a lot about that.
And I'm so glad we have made the conscious effort to, like, pull back. Because, like, when we do, like, decide to splurge, like, we splurge on, like, fun things or things that we need instead of, like, mass consumerism. Because we see, like, what the effects of that is on a global scale in this documentary, which is really cool. And they're only small effects that we're seeing, but we're still seeing the effects.
And one thing I'm nervous about in this documentary, and we'll see how it plays out, is their advertising and their, like, modeling is all done by, like, really young girls.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, are they paying these young girls for their ideas, for they're like having them take photos and, like, do all these things?
I haven't heard yet.
So I'm interested to see. Like, there's ongoing litigation. Like, the documentary actually opens up letting us know that, like, this is still all happening. So,
and I'm so excited to continue watching it.
Me too.
It was fascinating because I was like, does my sister have Brandy Melville? Okay, so actually let's give them a little bit of backstory about that too, because she was this brand. It's not a she. This brand, like, became, like, really popular. I think, like, circa 2010, 2014.
2010-ish, yeah.
2010, like, the teens years of the 2000s.
Started on Instagram. And it is very confusing. Like, even, you know how a lot of companies have backstories for their brands, or, like, thinking of Abercrombie and Fitch, like, those are actual people, Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yeah.
And, like, there's a whole story behind those two individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And this Brandy Melville is, like, a fully made up thing. Like, one person's American, one something. It was
like Swiss.
They're Swiss. The people who own it are Swiss. They're a Swiss company or Swiss family or something. Okay. And so it's not a woman. Brandy Melville is not a lady. It's very bizarre. Yeah,
and that's what they, like, talk about a lot. They break down, like, some of the misleading points of that. But it's really cool to see how they take, like, kind of how we do sometimes on here, how they take, like, a very, like, surface level topic, and then they have, like, really zoomed out to show you all the impacts, how this has been, like, just really nasty to women.
Nasty to women.
Well, nasty to people.
Nasty to individuals, yeah.
But I just, like, see all these young girls, like, modeling, and I'm like, I don't think they were ever paid.
Right.
I think they built their brand off of
free labor. Yeah.
And so that's, you know,
it's not ideal.
It's not the times that we want to be happening.
Not in the year of 2024.
And so we are going to continue watching that and, like, keep you posted. But yeah, I really liked the start of it. And honestly, if you like fashion docs or, like, learning more about, like, brand documentaries, it's been on Netflix for a little bit, but you all should watch, like, White Hot by Abercrombie and see, like, just see how things have changed. And honestly, I believe Abercrombie's come, like, really far.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's still a system, it's still an institution, and, like, so I don't know, like, what's happening behind closed doors, but they have done a lot to infiltrate the brand to make it more inclusive.
Yeah, and even saying that, like, I wonder if, like, this is HBO's, like, wrecking moment for Brandy Melville, because frankly, we didn't really know about. I know you had Brandy Melville in your closet, but it still was not on our radar that way. And they talk about that in the documentary. Like, people of our age and older probably have zero idea who Brandy Melville is, what it is, because it's literally geared towards the girlies, like the younger
and
generation.
I remember when I bought that top in Nordstrom, it was more of, like, in the junior misses than in, like, the ladies section where I usually
it's one size fits all, so obviously.
Yeah, I know.
In the junior section.
I know. I'm like, well,
they sell baby tees that are the size of a handkerchief, so yes.
I'm like, my sweater stretches.
Oh my gosh.
No, literally, my S's really got stuck there, everybody. It was not on purpose that I made that noise. It just, my spit got caught in my mouth.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just really interesting and fun to watch. So I'm excited to continue watching it and to continue watching The Valley. Do we have anything else that comes on Wednesday nights? Not really, not anymore.
No.
And we did see the preview yesterday for New Jersey, which we'll say is a housewife show we don't really watch. But
right,
for the sake of the pod, we might start it in May.
And honestly, to be fair, like that's the first iteration of Housewives that I ever watched, and like I've jumped in and out, and so it might be time to double dutch back in. We'll see.
Yes.
But should we wrap it up?
We should wrap it up. All right. Thank you all so much for listening to the Couples Couch podcast, where we give you all of our takes on all of the things. Yeah. You can find us on anywhere that you listen to podcasts, and if you're not currently subscribed to our YouTube channel, go in and subscribe. Thank you. Love you. We'll be live this afternoon. Bye.
Bye.